record, Fry?
Yep, back-to-back races, back-to-back bodies, and he's just kind of along for the ride right about now. Tom Hoover, now try to keep it away from the wall, Tom. I said try to keep it away from the wall. Boy, I hate when they don't listen to you. Hoover would come back and race again, but not a great way to start the 96 season. Steve?
Same as Gainesville. Wheel stand, unlatches the body.
We had a big hitch on it, but what happened there, we both smoked the tires, and when I hit it, all the clutch was in, and man, she's coming up right then. It was too late again.
You okay? You hit the wall pretty good. Like
Bangs are pretty good. The ball wins, but I was on the roll, no steering. I just had to pull along down the wall until she shut off.
That's a veteran.
I still think he looks like Wolfman Jack. That's my own personal opinion. All right, it's the matchup we've all been waiting for. Well, except for the other guys in the funny car class. It's Pedregon. It's Force. It's Pedregon. It's Force.
You got it. The first time the two would meet side by side. Would Tony go in the tank? Would he red light intentionally or shut it off? We were about to find out. Tony, a little short in the clutch department, didn't have much of a launch. Force runs 5:02 at only 2:73. Tony ran 5:15 over 300 miles an hour, trying to gun the boss down. At the far end, what the heck? I talked to both of them.
You happy, Tony?
Yeah, I'm happy.
I tell you, when that thing started to sputter, his 300 darn near nailed you.
You ran 300? Who's 300?
Yes.
It ran 300.
I was running after you.
Now watch this. Rick Stewart now motions Al Hoffman, who is taking his time staging the race car against Force in the finals. Hoffman and Pomona said, hey, Force, get used to it. Well, he was half right. Somebody better get used to it. Force with an 05 at 294. He picks up win number 2 in a row.
I'm a 46-year-old truck driver still trying to prove myself. Got my kid trying to outrun me, or my driver, and Hoffman parked on me on the start line. I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know if he had a problem or what. He wouldn't come in. I was setting that old clutch he was dragging, but what can I say to the folks that pay me? Castrol, Pontiac, Mac Tool, Action Collectibles. We're pretty bad, guys.
They are bad, B-A-D. They're also number 1, O-N-E, and would stay there for the rest of the season. Wow. That's W-O-W.
And our, you scared? Did you have a problem up there?
Yeah, we blew tires off. Oh, you mean staging?
Yeah.
I don't know what was going on. I was trying to get in, and every time I go up there, my brake is different. I didn't want to go in deep.
I was trying to hold the pedal down and started shoving the old foot, and the old foot started vibrating. But anyway, let's go have a beer.
Would have been a good race. Damn thing, gone in the end. We were side by side for a while.
I love it.
I may have to let you.
Except
Nobody else is gonna.
Except every time I kiss him, he always tells the paper it was something different. It makes me look bad.
You can't be kissing.
Everybody, hey, Evans.
And it's his birthday.
This is my hat I won.
April Fool baby. That's his hat he won.
That cat in the hat, John Forrest. We always have a great time. The Winston Select Invitational, Rockingham, North Carolina, no points, but a lot of money. And Richard Petty was the Grand Marshal.
Ladies and gentlemen, he is the Grand Marshal of this day here, the king himself, Richard Petty.
Nice hat, John. I see a pattern developing. So did Al Hoffman. So did the rest of the funny car drivers see a pattern developing. Great Southern style race fans on hand to watch this one.
John Forrest not embarrassed Richard Petty by kissing his ring. He embarrassed Al Hoffman in the final round, even though he blew a motor about half to bits. Won it with a 5:15 to Al's 5:18.
Hey, Al, get... Oh, well, you know. All right, we go to the Fram Nationals. This would be Tony Pedregon, John Force. This time it's for all the marbles. Would Pedregon lay down? Would he, Phil, do all that stuff?
Both of them wanted all those marbles, and it was Tony that got the whole sack at 5:10 to John's off-pace 5:31.
That's so cool to watch those guys. The crowd was stunned. They figure, hey, the kid just took out the boss. After that, Pedregon was seen in the pits handing out resumes.
And as John said, I believe I've hired my own assassin. At this point, Tony Pedregon had moved up third in points. John wasn't sure he wanted to run this car all year long. It was an R&D car. He was sure now.
Turned from an R&D car to a running wild car. It was tough. Here's Smokin' Joe's Whit Bazemore. There's that Worsham kid over on the far side of the racetrack. Watch Del Worsham.
This was the Pennzoil Nationals, Richmond, Virginia. Worsham, boy, did he deserve that one. A 5:19, put away Whit's 5:24, and continued to drop Whit in the top 10.
Worsham advanced to the next round. He's in the far lane. Al Hoffman in the near lane. The Auburn Foundry car on the far side. It was an up and down year for the kid.
But the kid won this one on a hole shot. A 5.16 embarrassed Al's 5.14. That hurts.
Into the semis. Hey, here's that Worsham kid against Cruz. Haven't seen much of him since Pomona. Watch the kid.
Ooh, and his luck ran out by a fender and had a bit of a fire to boot. As Cruz went on to the final with a 5.09 to Dell's close 5.20. Still ran a 5.20, sliding in his own oil.
That is one great driver. Little money, and that team could really be a player. Here's a team that lacks for nothing. Great driver, great money. Same for the red car. Classic final, Force and Cruz.
But Force pays a price for this one. Lots of fire, smoke, and parts coming out the back of the car. But John continues to pad his points lead with a 5.07, 285-mile-an-hour blast. And you can see the blower is slightly ascunce.
A sconce. Probably had too much flora in the blower. We go to Englishtown, beautiful downtown New Jersey. My kind of town. Here's those cars again. Semi-final, John Force, right down Broadway, 5.07. Take that. You think he let the kid win once just to sucker him in for the rest of the year?
What do you think Atlanta was all about? E-Town semifinals, Cruz Pedregon, far lane of the Pontiac. Near lane was Gary Dencham, the old teacher's pet from Southern California. Force's mentor in his early years, and guess what? His 5.27 would put him against John in the final round.
Garrett Encham's been doing this since the 60s. Not the 1960s, the 60s. That's a long while to be racing. Last guy left standing to try to take out John Force? Nuh-uh. Force with an 08 298, but a great effort by Garrett Dencham in the AAA NEC car. That's why we like the sport of drag racing. Guys like Dencham can try to be the giant killers.
And sooner or later, he's going to pull it off. Well, Force was starting to run away from Al. Take that Hoffman, Pedregon, two Pedregons running third and fourth. The battle really all year long from this point on was between those two. Oh, we had a lot of fun in Columbus, Ohio. Got completely rained out. Had to come back the following Saturday to a hot, brutal weekend.
You think it was brutal for the fans, it was brutal for the Castrol cars. Force in the far lane, Etchels actually out-pedals the champ and gets the win. It wasn't an artistic success, but he took John Force out of here in round number 2. For his troubles, he gets the kid in round 3.
He sure did on a less than great racetrack. This was a driver's race. Who had the most nimble right foot to reach the winner's circle. And that proved to be the old match racer Chucky, smoking the tires through the lights, and he would earn a berth in the final round with a 5.36.
He would meet Mark Oswald. Oswald winless on the trail since Englishtown of 94. He beat McEwen here in 84. He beat Bernstein here in 86. Could he beat Chuck Edgels here in 96? Edgels would hate to go away having beaten the Castrol cars and not winning the race.
Chuck Edgels maybe had the run of the day at a 5.17. That was like a 4-second run anywhere else at 2.87.
We started to feel like we're the Harlem, we're like the guys the Harlem Globetrotters play every week, I mean, like
Generals, yeah.
Yeah, like we're always getting beat up. I got to say one thing, though, Steve, because Mighty Auto Parts will kill me. We got so many names on this, and we hadn't been to the second round in so long. We started thanking all the sponsors, Totally blew it on them, so. But thanks, Kendall. Thanks, all you guys. We love you.
And there's your trophy.
Congratulations. Thanks for the nice words about Pontiac. You beat two of my guys.
Hey, even the Generals beat the Globetrotters once in a lifetime. And the crew went wild.
Then there was Memphis in June, the Pennzoil Nationals. Only 2 words describe it: hot and humid, hell-like.
There might be 3 words, but anyway, it was the Pedregon boys mixing it up. They actually ran once in 95. You remember that from your Drag Racing 95 tape. First meeting here in 96, and watch what happens.
Oh, they take this so seriously. And Tony won the semifinal round at a 5.29. The Cruz is not far up, 5.32. Well, here they are, the brothers Pedregon, and your first meeting certainly didn't disappoint anybody. Well, maybe Cruz. You won it with a 29.
Well, that's great. I knew it would be a close race, and I got a lot of respect for my brother. I love him, but, there's a war going on out here, and, we're just happy to do it for Castrol, Mac Tools, and Pontiac, all our sponsors.